All right, we are live. Let's see if there's who's online. All right. Hey, how y'all doing today? I hope everyone is having a good Friday. We're gonna have some fun stuff we'll do today. I think I'm going to talk about some programmatic. After answering any questions, we'll talk about some programmatic SEO. I can't say that, and then we'll do a fun experiment with the penny arcade. I think you guys will enjoy that. Let me just pull the channel up here and see who's all right. We got 12 people. Hey, if you can hear me, if you're live, if you're still alive, say something in the chat. All right. Say something in the chat if you guys are alive. I don't see anything in the chat. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to dive into this until I get some questions and whatnot. We're going to do a cool thing. We'll do the cool thing with Penny Arcade first. This is in response to an email that I got. Hey, Jill, how are you? I got an email today, and they were asking. So I'll tell you what it is, and then we'll do it. Although I can't use their specific website, he wouldn't allow me to do that. So he does like in-house SEO for a company that sells electronics. So they have like their own, merchant website. And he wants to, let me just show you. I can show you this because this is not his website. So he has like, imagine him having a website, and he doesn't have this stuff, like a nice little description about the product. And this is kind of what he wants to create. Right. So he wants to create this nice, let's make sure you guys can see it. Like description about the product, some nice narrative language. He has features and he has product specifications. Okay. He just doesn't have this stuff. And he's like, can ZimmWriter help me create this stuff? And so I went to his website and I was messing around with it, and it can, and I'll walk you through it, but I won't use his website. Okay. He didn't give me permission to do that. So we'll use just Amazon. But for his website to work, and this might be the case for other websites too, I had to, number one, it wasn't pulling up all the data from his page. So I had to go in to ZimmWriter. Actually, let me switch off of this so I don't reveal his website. I don't want to violate that request of his. And let me do one more, scraping surgeon, delete. Okay, so I had to go into ScrapeOwl and I had to add his domain here because it wasn't rendering without the render JavaScript enabled. So this is like a more technical kind of thing, but I had to enable it here so that it would pull all the data, and then I had to isolate the data on the page using Scraping Surgeon so that it just isolated what we wanted. And then finally, the scraping actually works really well when you're using GPT 3.5. All right, that's like the answer. I got to name this something different. I can't say this. That's the model for scraping right here. All right, but I was scraping inside of advanced triggers, and so I had to use 3.5 in here. But 3.5 works really well for scraping websites. So the combination of those three, I was able to scrape the data that I wanted from his page, and then create a magic command to kind of do what we want. So I'll walk you through that right now, and this might kind of open your eyes to different use cases on how you can use ZimmWriter and the Penny Arcade. So in ZimmWriter, there's three ways to manipulate data with a custom prompt, not when we're writing a blog post. And we're going to use the Penny Arcade method, but the other two ways are the SERP discombobulator and the text discombobulator. So text discombobulator, it takes a string of text and can apply, text on one line, text on another line, text on another line. And each line, it can apply a custom prompt to. SERP discombobulator is kind of the same way, but you'll put like a search query up here. And then, search query, dogs, cats, whatever. Each one of these is a search query, and it will apply a custom prompt to each one of these, okay? But now what if you don't want to modify like a line of text, so you don't need the text discombobulator, you don't want to modify a SERP query. What if you want to modify the contents of a web page? So this originated before the discombobulator. So this is like technically its own discombobulator. You can think of this as a URL discombobulator. So in the Penny Arcade, there's this, let me delete this. There's this thing in here called only summarize, okay? And when you click it, the menu should appear. Let's try it again. Penny Arcade. Oh, I don't have a URL in here. All right, just putting a URL in here so I can open this menu. There we go. So this is like technically a URL discombobulator. We can put, we'll name this job so we can get a CSV output, and we'll apply our prompt. This is our custom prompt we'll create. We apply the model, and then we'll output. Oh yeah, I guess everything gets output as a CSV or as individual text files, okay, for each URL in here. So this is what we're going to do. So, I might have lost you. I hope not. What we're going to do is we're going to create this, all right, this product description from some product details, okay, kind of what he wants. Now, I'm not going to show you his site. We're going to use Amazon instead. So I have this Amazon URL right here, all right, and I put it in to Notepad. And when I summarize it in Notepad, I think I have caching off. Well, that's working. Hey, Chris. W3LR Dragon. I'm glad you're alive. Jack, had to log in chat. I do have a question. Okay, Jack, just ask your question in chat. Hey, Tom. Hey, Robert. Hey, Mario. Remember, this hour is going to be yours. I'm going to show you a couple cool things, but then, ask your questions in chat and I'll go through them. So here's the summary from Amazon. Okay, so this is the summary from Amazon. And maybe you're a merchant on Amazon and you want to, you have product details, but you want to create that nice, catchy description. How can we do that? Okay, so we're going to use a custom prompt. And to use a custom prompt, we'll have to go to the custom prompt guide. It's on my website, Secret Training. You scroll down, you'll see something for a custom prompt. And you'll see this right here. All right. You're going to take this and we're going to go over to the playground. I lost it. They modified the playground. I'm really upset. They changed up how it looks, and I just finished a course, and now I got to explain in the course, hey, the course is going to be all different because it's going to look different because they modified the playground. All right, so here is what ZimmWriter will feed into OpenAI or whatever model you're using when you're running a custom prompt. Because what we're going to do is we are going to put in this Amazon URL into Penny Arcade. I don't want to lose you guys. Put this in a Penny Arcade, and we're going to click the only summarize button. We're going to run a custom prompt on this, and it's going to summarize this data. So it will give us our summary right here, and then it will turn it into this right here. Okay, and it will do it for unlimited URLs that you put in. Okay, so we'll go back to the playground. The context. Now this would be the title of the article or the product name or whatever it is. Right? ZimmWriter will automatically put this in, but because we're testing this out, we want to test our custom prompt out, simulate what ZimmWriter is going to give us so that we know our custom prompt is good. So even if you don't have a use case for what I'm demonstrating right now, this is a great way to test out a custom prompt when you create it inside of ZimmWriter. So I'll take the product name and I'll put it right in here. So this, again, the context for a custom prompt is always going to be the article title or the subheading title, which in the case of scraping would be the product title, okay? And then we need the product details as summarized by ZimmWriter from the URL. So we'll get that from right here because this is what ZimmWriter came up with when it summarized. I'll go back to the playground and I'll put in the text to modify, right? So again, this is the name of the product. That's what ZimmWriter will put in automatically. And this is the formatting it uses, okay? It uses the formatting that's described on this custom prompt instructions right here, okay? And the text to modify will be the summary of that URL that the Penny Arcade is going to generate. And then modify the text according to these rules. So this is what I came up with. I tested this beforehand. So write the following: a brief one-paragraph introduction about this product, 3 headings, each heading about a different feature of the product, and a paragraph for each heading, a section about the product detail specifications with a heading in 1 paragraph, okay? So I'll put this right here. I don't really need spaces. And modified text. Now the playground's kind of changed a little bit. Hopefully they fix this. If you just enter a system prompt, you can't like run it. You have to have a user prompt in here, but we don't have user prompts, right? I'm not using one. So you can just press Control Enter and it will run. We're going to run this on really GPT-4 is really GPT-4o, I guess, is nice because it's like semi-cheap, but it's pretty smart. And we'll bump this up to 1500. 256 won't be enough. So we'll run it. Hope you all can see that. I won't read the whole thing, but the Atmos Ninja 5 4K P60 blah 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 is a compact and versatile tool designed for professional videographers and filmmakers with its bright 5-inch HDR display, robust recording capabilities, and seamless compatibility, etc., etc. So it talks about the HDR display and monitoring, advanced recording capabilities, seamless connectivity, and some product specs. Okay, so it kind of gave us exactly what we like. So now let's pretend that we like the output. All right, we like this output. Let's turn this into a custom prompt now. So I'm going to take this text. This is going to be our custom prompt. Copy it. I'll go to ZimmWriter now. Now you define the custom prompts in, can you do it in here? Yeah, you can actually do it in here. So we'll just paste that right in there, although we lost these line breaks. Let's put these line breaks back in here. 2. There we go. And we'll call this custom prompt product details. 1S. Save new prompt. Okay. Now we'll just use this one URL. Now this is going to go really fast because this is already cached right now in the cache for ZimmWriter. But we're going to click on only summarize now. We'll give this a name. Now remember, we could put in 10 URLs. We could put in 1,000 URLs. We've tested this on Amazon. You can't just use this for any old site. You might need to use the settings for ScrapeOwl. If you are using ScrapeOwl, you might have to use Scraping Surgeon, okay? But we know that this will work for Amazon. So we'll apply the custom prompt, product details. We're going to use GPT-O. And I don't want everything as a single CSV. We want individual files, but we only have one URL, so we'll just get one file anyways. Proceed. So I'll go over here. It's running the custom prompt right now. All right, it finished. And there we go. So we have our introduction. Now, there's some, this is kind of like the local SEO buffet. This is a manual process. You're going to have to manually upload this stuff. But you can, let's say you have let's take this user's situation where maybe they have 1,000 products, okay? You can just queue all those URLs up, have this stuff instantly created, and then manually copy and paste it into the site. Because it's going to be, the site he had, it's not like a WordPress site. It's like a custom site with drop downs and stuff like that, maybe Elementor or something like that. But we have our introduction. So there's our little, just like this, we have our little blurb right here. And then we have some features. So HDR monitoring, advanced recording, rugged design, product specifications, right? You could paste that and create something just like this, okay? So that's an example of how to use custom prompts, how to use like this URL discombobulator, if we want to call it that, inside of Penny Arcade. A lot of different use cases. I don't know what yours might be, but there's a lot of different ways you can take advantage of this. So let me look at questions, and then we'll talk a little bit about programmatic SEO. Let's see, what do we got here? Robert asks, let me see if I can put this on the broadcast. And I should have messed with this. It's hard to see with the white background. So Robert asks, how can I target custom post types when posting to WordPress from ZimmWriter? Currently using a plugin to transfer posts between, I don't have a post type. I don't have a way to upload to post types. Maybe send me a private message and it kind of explain to me what happens when you try to just upload it as normal. If like, does something happen, or do you just need to like go into the post that's uploaded and set it to a different post type? Kind of fill me in on what's going on with that. Chris asked, Matt, best practice to use Zim for a local business site. homepage and services. Yeah, so best practice, I really, let's close some of this stuff up. I take a lot of inspiration from this site. Although, there's so many different ways to create a local landing page. So many different ways. This is made by Skylar and his company. Great guy. I recommend him if you're looking for SEO help. So what they have different locations. And you'll click on a location page, and you'll scroll down, and you'll see like different services that they offer. So we're like in Commerce City, Colorado, and there's you click on air duct cleaning, you'll see air duct cleaning, Commerce City. You'll scroll down, you click on window cleaning, Commerce City. Okay, so you can pick a different location, Denver. And like when you click the location, I guess the money maker, the main keyword is going to be that it's carpet cleaning for them. So any location you click on, the landing page for that will be carpet cleaning, but then you can dive down deeper into the actual service that they offer for like Denver. So like commercial floor care cleaning in Denver. Okay. So that's kind of like the layout. I envision different locations, different services, and a page for each service / location. And they'll have your H1 up here with 3 different traits about the company, some highlights of the company. And then again, depending on how you want to set up your pages, right? Everybody has a different way to do it. Some people will, just have, one paragraph in here, like, some details about this particular service, with some Denver peppered in here, and then some information about that. All right. So you're using a page builder. All right, or maybe you're using a block editor and you're pasting stuff in. So to replicate generating this kind of content here, all right, this kind of content, a header up here and 3 different traits about the company, you'd use the local SEO buffet. And so we'd come in here and ZimmWriter would disappear. You'd come into the local SEO buffet and we'd say like cleaning service. Now, what you can actually do now, well, let me fill this out first. I'll show you the cleaning bro. So this is like your company, your industry type, cleaning service, name of the company. Now, what's cool is you can actually create the next boxes offline. You can say 500. Actually, let's just take these and let's kind of borrow these for a moment. Not recommending to borrow them. So you can create your stuff in here, copy it, and then go to ZimmWriter and just paste your highlights from the clipboard. Okay. And then you can do the same thing with locations, Toledo, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. Now there is a way, there's background that you can put in, because you'll get, like, if you put in background, you'll get like a paragraph blurb about that particular city. So this is like Toledo, Ohio, like, oh, Toledo is home of Tony Pacos, it was featured on MASH, all this stuff. So there's a lot of like background that you can feed in, and you'll get a little nice paragraph about that. And if you want to include that, I think read the directions up top. But I think the way to do that is you'll have your location, Toledo, Ohio, and then, background. And then you'd have Cleveland, Ohio, blah, blah, blah. We can actually try it right now. Paste from clipboard. Yeah, that's what it does. Okay. So you have a little dash right there, but we don't want the background. And then you can have some services and USPs, okay? Kind of the same format. You'll have your service, and then if you want a USP for the service, you'll have a dash, and then your 1 to 3 benefits, it will be a single line with another dash, and you can paste that in. But we'll just do one. We'll do window cleaning, and we won't do any USPs or stuff like that. And you can select your model. Let's select GPT-4o. I don't really care about nuking words, and we'll start the local buffet. And it should go really quick. Turbo or GPT-4o is pretty fast, and all right. So that's typically what I would do. Now, you're going to get these files out, and people are like, oh, these files, they don't make any sense. Like, what's going on? They got this weird, weird naming scheme and stuff like that. Let's get one out so I can show you. But I have a lot of people that when they finally understand how to use the local SEO buffet, they're just it's just a money machine. It's like an ATM machine for their clients. They're charging their clients per page. That's like, how many pages do you want? You want 100 pages? Great. $10 a page or something like that. So here's the first page we got out. So this was 3 pennies. All right. And so we have a possible meta title. And so I call this a local SEO buffet because you don't have to take all this stuff. This is a buffet. You don't go to the buffet and just gorge yourself. I mean, some people do. You don't eat everything. You just selectively eat what you want, So meta description. Here's a TLDR. Now, maybe you don't have a use case for this. Then skip over it. Don't put this into your article if you don't want to. All right, those bullet lists about your company. So we've kind of maybe reworded, tweaked those bullet lists, those highlights about your company. Yeah, you can use these if you want. You don't have to. Here's a call to action. You can put this somewhere on your page. You don't have to. Again, it's a buffet. Here's a how we can help. Here's a why us. Again, maybe you don't have a use case for these sections. That's perfectly fine. Here's some FAQs. Maybe you want some FAQs on your page. How often should you have our windows? How often should we have our windows cleaned? We recommend having your windows cleaned at least twice a year. So it kind of made this up, okay? But this is logical, common sense stuff that can help you rank and give those juicy keywords to Google. Local stuff still ranking. So here's like different delicious dishes, I call them. Discover professional window cleaning with the Cleaning Bros in Toledo, Ohio. At the Cleaning Bros, we believe in a clean window is a gateway to a brighter home or office. Our team is committed to delivering professional, reliable window cleaning services that you can count on every time, et cetera, et cetera. So you can take all this stuff and just paste it in to that little box on your page builder, for your particular page. And then once you've done Toledo, Ohio window cleaning, then you do the next one, Cleveland, Ohio window cleaning. Okay. And so you can actually, in ZimmWriter, you can have up to 25 services and 25 locations. So you can have up to 625 pages. Let's say you're charging, I don't know, $50 a page or something like that. I can't even do the math on that. Let's say $50 a page. Where'd the calculator go? I think on parallels, we don't get a calculator. All right, someone do the math and tell me in the chat before I do. $50 a page, 625 pages, it's $31,000. So you want to charge your client $31,000 for 625 pages of content? There you go. You fed your family for a whole year, right? All right, I hope that answered your question, Chris. All right, Dragon, I'll just call her I don't know the first, I'll just call you Dragon. How can we add article links to our blog, or can ZimmWriter include article links in curating blogs? So there's 2 types of links. There's internal links and external links. ZimmWriter doesn't do either of them natively. Internal links are complicated because you have page builders and you have all different formats and things like that. And it's easy to screw it up. It's hard to do it right. I'd rather, there's standalone tools that do it for a reason. Like there's not a lot of standalone tools that do like meta descriptions, for instance, but there's a lot of standalone tools that will do page builders. And there's a lot of standalone tools that will do external links and things like that. So I would use a standalone tool for that, like Link Whisper or Link Boss. In terms of backlinks or links to third-party websites, linking out from your website or your article, if we SERP scrape and we pull in the top 5 or top 10 results, what happens when you link out? Well, if you're writing an article about like the best dishwashers and you're linking out, guess what? You're linking out to the competition. So linking out is great, I guess, if you're writing a specific type of article, how to care for your pet or best treatments for cancer or something like that. So there are situations where linking out is good, but that's not built into ZimmWriter right now. And what's the cutoff? How many do you need? Do you need 5? Do you need 10? Maybe is 1 enough? I think it's more of a task that you could assign to a VA and have them find 1 or 2 references to link out to that are not competitors and accomplish it that way. I'm writing blog posts for a local HVAC company. This is Jack asked this. I could start with Google's people also ask questions and generate answers. What would be a good way to generate other blog post ideas? Well, that's great. I'm glad you asked, Jack. This is a softball. I like the softball questions. All right. So, I mean, first things first, you can go to Ahref or you can go to SEMrush. There are lower priced keyword tools, but a lot of these higher priced tools will have just more long-tailed keywords available that you can then, put into ZimmWriter and write your articles. If you do go that route, what I recommend, again, depending on how many articles you want to write, so this depends, is Keyword Chef. You don't have to get a permanent subscription to it, but Keyword Chef is cool because you put in your keywords and it will, let's see if I can blow this up a little bit. You put in your keywords here, and then it will actually scrape the SERP for each one of these and then aggregate the ones together that are showing up for similar results. So, maybe how to cook steak. So maybe these two results right here, how to cook steak in a cast iron skillet and how to cook steak on a cast iron skillet, have like almost identical SERP results. If you were to write an article about each one of these, you'd cannibalize yourself. And so Keyword Chef would group both of these together, and you'd get this CSV output with all of like the grouped keywords that are unique, or at least based on their analysis. And then you can turn that into a title. Maybe, this already is a title, all right, but sometimes they're not titles, like ranking on Google. That's not really a title. So you'd have to turn your stuff into a title, but you turn it into a title, and then you can write your articles without cannibalizing yourself. That's a great way to get traffic. Okay. Now there are other ways that you can create titles to write about and have ZimmWriter write about that don't require any of this stuff. Right. Now, whether there's keyword traffic or not, that just depends. Let me show you that way right now. It's called the Topical Authority Generator. So we come in here and we put in, let's see, your HVAC services. So we'll put in HVAC services for, I don't know if it's a home. I'm assuming it's for homeowners. So HVAC services, this is going to be embarrassing. Maintenance. I can't spell maintenance off the top of my head. HVAC services. And so this is the Topical Authority Generator, and you can put in a concept in here. So we'll put in HVAC services and maintenance. And let's say I want to get I'll keep this short because we're doing a video right now. I want to get 5 topical clusters, and I want 5 long tails, and let's do 2 blog post titles, okay? And we'll use GPT 3.5 Turbo just to go really fast, and we'll create topical authority map. So here are the clusters that it came up with. HVAC system maintenance tips for homeowners, importance of regular air filter replacement, energy efficient HVAC upgrades. So these are some clusters that it created. Now you're free to come in here and edit this. You can delete these and put in your own clusters, okay? Or you can say, you know what, I like these 3 right here, but I want you to regenerate these 2. So we'll regenerate those 2. All right, so okay, I like everything in here. Then we'll proceed. And what it's going to do is it's going to create us a cluster map, a topical map for that particular concept, which is HVAC services and maintenance for homeowners. And then you can kind of like go through it, and you don't want to just take everything and just feed it into ZimmWriter, but you can kind of go through it and say, okay, what makes sense to write about? It can give you a lot of ideas and directions that you possibly weren't thinking about before. So it's doing cluster 3 of 5 right now. As you can do up to 30 clusters, but you're limited to 900 or 1,000 lines of output. So you got to kind of play with it to see what you want, but it gives me great ideas to possibly write about or build a site around or just build filler content. All right, it's all done. Let's open this up and check that out. So it's a CSV, so we're gonna auto fit column width. I'll make this a little bit bigger. That's too big. All right, that still might be too big. Can we go down a little bit? There we go. So here was our main concept, okay? And then here were the different clusters. So we said we want 5 clusters? Yeah, 5 clusters. And then for each cluster, this is one cluster, we want 5 different long tails. And then for each long tail, we want 2 titles, okay? So here's our cluster: HVAC system maintenance tips for homeowners, energy saving HVAC maintenance practices for homeowners. So this is like a simulated long tail keyword. And then this will be a possible blog post title: top energy efficient HVAC maintenance tips for homeowners. This is great. And what's cool is, there might be search volume for this. There might not be, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Let's say you have a newsletter and you just email your clients just to, be in their mind, once a month or once a week or something like that. You can have ZimmWriter write this article, top energy efficient HVAC maintenance tips for homeowners. Write this article, put a link to it in your newsletter. Instant filler content. It's great. Who cares if it's AI written? It doesn't matter. The homeowner doesn't know. Jack and Jill who live at home, they don't know it's written by an AI. So what you can do is you can take this blog post title, or you can take all of them if you want to, but there is going to be there's 2 for these long tail keywords. There's 2, so there could be overlap between these. So I don't recommend just taking everything and feeding it into ZimmWriter. Maybe you say, you know what, I like this one, I don't like this. All right, so we have 2 for each. So DIY HVAC system care tips at home. Let's get rid of this. I don't like that. Best seasonal maintenance schedule for HVAC systems. I don't like this. Okay, so we have 3 titles right here. Now we can go to ZimmWriter and go into bulk writer and just put those in. Now, if you want some, some data, some knowledge beyond just what the AI has, we'll, enable SERP scraping, and we'll scrape the SERP for these things. So you get some actual factual data built into here. Now, there's some additional columns in here. And let me actually delete the entire row for the elements that we deleted. I'll show you why. So there's a merged column over here, okay? And this merged column has 3 things in it. It has, I'm trying to look over my microphone right now. It has a category. It has an outline focus. And it has a slug, okay? And so if you don't just take the titles, we paste it into the bulk writer, just the titles, but if you paste in the merged column, what's going to happen if you have this uploaded to WordPress, it's going to create or assign, if it doesn't already exist, this article to this category on WordPress. And then it's going to use this outline focus to help the AI as it builds the outline for this article. And then there's a slug in here. And the slug is going to be the, imagine it's going to be your slug for the article. So imagine this isn't necessarily the keyword. This is our title: top energy efficient HVAC maintenance tips for homeowners. But we want to target the keyword, so our keyword becomes the slug. Okay. So by having all that in there, it gets uploaded to WordPress. You got to set your uploading over here. It gets uploaded to WordPress. It sets the category, sets the slug, and builds the outline with this outline focus in here. All right, so that should give you a lot of different ways to, again, if you're dealing with a local client, let's put you on a 5 blog post a month plan. Every month we'll do a blog post, $100 for you. Well, geez, this is $300 right there. Three articles, $300. So easy to put, and then you sell them on a newsletter. You say, hey, you know what? Let's put this stuff in newsletters. And we'll run the newsletter for you, and we'll keep your your clients in the top of. Keep you in the top of your client's mind. So really easy way to generate lots of content. Oh, let's see. So that was Jack's question. All right. Sani Saab, I'm sorry, I'm saying your name probably wrong, says, using WordPress to create Amazon reviews, how can I extract more than 1 Amazon product images and post them under every other paragraph? Can't do that. I just don't have that feature in ZimmWriter right now. Probably not going to build it because it's, there's usually one good Amazon image from Amazon, but then as you get more, then it kind of, sometimes you can get really junky ones, or there's a situation where there's only 1 image, or there's 3 images and you have 5 paragraphs. So it's, I don't know, it's not a hotly requested feature. So what you could probably do, what I would probably do is, maybe do an AI image every other, but use like Stable Diffusion Core or something like that, or just use the one featured image. Let's see. Rabid Monkey asks, what would be the best way to have the output be in British English and not American? I assume a custom prompt, but wondering if might be a way to cover all the output permanently. So that's hard because British English is like English, but it's like not English. And when you tell the AI to, like if you tell the AI to write like Crocodile Dundee, and I'm not talking about in here, let's see, right in the style of, you put like Crocodile Dundee. You ever seen like Crocodile Dundee or like Rocky, and Rocky's like, yo, Adrian. Well, the AI will start doing that, and it's like over the top. Now, to avoid that, instead of telling the AI, when you put in like, Rocky Balboa, instead of telling the AI, hey, write like Rocky Balboa, because if I tell the AI that, it will start saying like, yo, Adrian, and stuff like that. I'll ask the AI how Rocky Balboa would write. Okay. And so if you put in like British English in here, it won't quite work because it will say like, how does someone that uses British English write? And that's, you can't really, you use British English. So that wouldn't work. I don't really know if there's a solution for that. That's hard to do. Maybe you could go and create a custom prompt and say something like, write using English spelling. Maybe something like that, because that's technically what it is, British English spelling. So that might be, and then you could apply that prompt, everywhere. You could try that and see, what happens. Let's see. So South Carolina services, like South Carolina asks, South Carolina services says, you're my favorite developer. Keep up the great work. Like I said in my review, you developed the best article writer ever. Hey, thanks. 10 steps ahead of the competition. No questions, just respect. Well, see, I need questions though to fill the time. All right. Why is optimized? I've gotten this question before. It's a good question just because people ask it a lot. So this is probably a great way to explain it. So the question is, why is optimized title not available in the SEO CSV bulk writer? Oh, I didn't catch the CSV bulk writer. So the bulk writer, SEO CSV, if you've never used it before, the directions are literally right here. Like this, there's no other exhaustive guide for it. These are the directions, follow them like your life depends on it. And then when you're all done following it, you can put your stuff in, you can export this sheet to, and then load it in the CSV thing. So this outline right here, let's see. Outline must be in the format described in the SEO Writer Exhaustive Guide. It overrides the outline focus. You can use list, table, YouTube, TPL. All right, so the outline that we're putting in here is different, and this is my fault for naming it the same, is different than a custom outline. Right? There's custom outlines, and then there's this outline. This outline is just like the outline that's in the so many windows that's in here. Okay, it's in here. You can't use outline focus in here, or not outline focus. You can't use, I'm sorry, you can't use optimized title. I'm getting the terms confused. You can't use optimized title in here because in here you specify exactly what you want. We're talking about like, if the question is like how to get over a cold, get lots of rest. 5 ways to get over a cold, get lots of rest. That's way number 1. We don't optimize title that because here we put in exactly what we want. There's no sense, and optimizing is not an SEO thing. Optimizing the title is trying to rewrite this particular subheading contextually in the scope of the entire article. Okay, so it has no usefulness at all in the SEO writer because we're putting in the exact title we want. Likewise, in the outline here, it has no usefulness to have optimized title because we put in the exact outline that we want. And so if you don't put an outline in here, then in ZimmWriter, my computer's lagging today. In the, you load your CSV file, okay, and imagine there's no outline specified in the CSV file. You can use a custom outline in here, right, with your optimized title and all this stuff. All right, so that's why the optimized title does not work inside of here, because this is a different type of outline. This is not a custom outline. I hope I beat that dead horse and it's dead, but I hope it made sense. All right, let's see here. All right, yeah, you could try Peter's prompt tag and see what kind of mileage you get from that. What is the best AI image model your prompts work with from Stable Diffusion to get close to photo quality? Let's minimize this. I think what you should do is probably just test things out. ZimmWriter is all about testing stuff. If you just like press a couple buttons and hope for the best, cross your fingers, it's like going to Vegas and betting it all on like 35 or something like that. I have liked, let's see, I forget which one I did. I updated this. So AIblogpostwriter.com, if you're not familiar with it, it's my site that I have 60 articles that I'll rewrite using different settings. So just recently I added GPT-4o to it, and I did some Amazon roundups with Llama 3. I think there's some more that I haven't added to the category listing yet, but possibly. Oh, so with this, I use Stable Diffusion, the SD model, like the really, really cheap one, the inexpensive one. I think with Llama, I used Core. Okay. So Llama is like technically free, although there's been a glitch in it where regardless of the model you choose for choosing SEO keywords, manual or automatic, it was using GPT 3.5. I just released an update this morning that, and so Llama, when you just do a standard Llama for everything, it actually should show 0 cents now, and it's going to use, Llama for everything now. But there was a glitch, fixed it this morning. But all of these were with Core, okay? And I like, as long as there's no hands in the photo, because like maybe 50% of the time it gets the hands right, 50% it gets them wrong, okay? And the second you start getting body parts, like, and you're focused on the body parts, that's when you get those blurred images. So you kind of have to be careful of that. But like, this is great right here. So 5 best travel backpacks. It's a great image right there. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Look at that. It's like a real dude. Let me scroll down. Fantastic. Like, look at that image. This is Core right here. And I'll usually, for my niche, although for some of the other sites that I have created that I haven't disclosed, I'm using the different styles. But generally, I'll use cinematic for the featured image and photographic for all the other images. So that looks really nice, actually. Let's look at 1 or 2 more. Oh, this grilling one's nice. I mean, sometimes you get weird stuff like that's kind of a weird looking comb right there, or brush. But the cool thing is, so here's the guitar one. That's great. Look at the hands on that one. That's great. So what I did for a site, one of my sites that's doing really well, I'm getting like 150 clicks a day. I went and I put a bunch of Amazon Roundup posts on there. But some of the Amazon Roundup posts had like glitched whatever, like it was blurred or something like that. And that's where I just went back to the AI Vault. I went to the bulk image generator, and I put in like concepts surrounding my niche. So I'd have like images that would kind of fit anywhere. And I put in the prompt that I'm using for that particular site. And I chose like Stable Diffusion Core. and I generated like 100 images, uploaded them all to, and I compressed them, did the compression, upload them all to WordPress, and then I could just go through the articles that had the blurred images or the error images and just quickly replace them. Really, really easy to do. I built the feature because I needed it myself, and I just put it to use yesterday. I love having that feature in there. All right, what else we got? All right, let's see here. All right, so that was Robert's question. So John says, I asked the AI to use UK English dictionary. Oh, that's cool. And it works 90% of the time. John, maybe reply in chat. Is that a custom prompt that you're applying? Custom prompt that you're applying everywhere, or are you doing it a little bit differently? All right. Another question. I have one more doubt. When I'm using SERP discombobulator, it is not scraping and it gets failed in generating predicted output. Actually, I am not able to scrape top 5 site, it getting failed. If you're getting a failed message, it could just be that, I mean, it should, we can do that right now. SERP discombobulator. I got to run a custom prompt on it. Let's see, main point, how to wash a dog. Maybe that's probably not cached, but we could try it. Let's job name, dogs. All right. Oh, it's done. So it was cached already. Let's do one that's not cached, just to make sure it works. So this custom prompt I ran on here was like, what's the main point? And so this was the how to wash a dog. That's the query. This is the main point of all of the summaries from all of the stuff. But I think it was like a main, give me the main point like in 15 words or something like that. So proper dog bathing techniques, including frequency, preparation, supplies, and post-bath care are essential for maintaining your pet's hygiene. Right? I mean, clearly you wouldn't use this kind of a prompt on, this type of SERP query. There's really no purpose for it. But the cool thing is, all right, all your SERP queries are cached, at least for 5,000, first in, first out. But 5,000 SERP queries. So you don't like the results, you can, all that stuff's cached. So save the queries that you ran. They should all be in this list, and you can rerun them again with a new custom prompt. But it looks like we're scraping down here. We'll let that run for a second and delete this. So yeah, it could be, if you're getting failed, that you're out of scrape out credits or something else. I don't have any failures with scraping. In bulk writer, if I need to make any changes, I have to kill the process and set everything from scratch. Is there any way you can have a pause option? Unfortunately, no. When I built ZimmWriter, like, it grew and grew, and it's like a child that you don't really know what they're going to turn into. And once they've turned into that thing, you can't like go back in time and like fix them or change them. So it's very hard right now. Ultimately, when I redevelop, my goal is to redevelop ZimmWriter. If and when I get that done, all that kind of stuff should be possible, but right now there's not. So I just recommend double, triple checking your work before you press that OK button, or you could do one article in the bulk writer. Just do one, make sure everything comes out right. Once you like it, okay, queue up the rest of the 500 articles or something like that, and you'll be good to go. Is there any way to feed our custom prompt directly into the AI bulk image generator without having the AI write its own prompt for us? I don't know what the use case for that is. I don't know the use cases, but the problem is when it kind of has to be from the perspective of, I can't go in the menu right now. When I first created the bulk image generator, like the first iteration before I released it, I wasn't having it generate an outline behind the scenes. I was just having it take a prompt, create a new prompt, and then generate a bunch of images from that. Problem is, all of the images, like, they were all similar. There was like no variation between them. There was no point in generating more than one image per prompt. The only way I could solve that was when I generated an outline. Like I pretended I was going to create an article, and I created an outline based on that. Okay. And so if we're doing what you say, like it becomes harder to do, because what I'll do is I'll take the article, I'll generate the outline, and then I'll use the outline to fill in the blanks in the template. So it's, I don't know, without the variety of prompts based on like the context of each outline item, there's no usefulness to the images that you get. They're just too similar. Is there any option to include background information into a bulk writer for each title? Well, yeah, that's where we just were. The bulk. I can't get back to it, but that's the bulk SEO CSV. It allows you to do basically anything that's in the SEO writer, aside from put in background information into like paragraph format background information into subheadings. You can put in URLs, you just can't put in paragraph format background information. Robert, thank you. Your results are much better than my test last night. Well, good. Programmatic SEO. Okay, we got 10 minutes left. Soon. Really, really soon, hopefully. Bulk SEO CSV. All right. So we're going to do programmatic SEO. I'm going to have to kill ZimmWriter. So it's stuck on this 0 right here. And sometimes that can happen with scrape out because sometimes sites won't scrape. And so ZimmWriter will try the site 3 or 4 times and then give like a 60-second timeout for each retry. And if that doesn't work, it will switch the settings and try again. And so theoretically, it could take up to 20 minutes for a problematic site to scrape. But once it finally does scrape, it will save those settings into the database. Now, unfortunately, the database for settings for scraped URLs can only hold 50 URLs at a time. But nothing's broken over here, okay? It just takes time. So you just have to be patient. Now, usually scraping a site can take, 30 seconds. But you hit these problematic URLs, sometimes it's cycling through, using JavaScript, doing all kinds of weird stuff to see if we can get it to scrape. So if you see that, just hang. Don't worry. It's not the end of the world. Let me exit ZimmWriter. Sorry, buddy. Let's do some quick programmatic. I think you guys would like that. Okay. I've explained it before, but I haven't really done it live. So we'll try to do it live. Let's go to the options. I want to go fast. So we'll do 3.5 for each. Go to the bulk writer, custom outline. Do I have one for? I don't. All right, so what you'll do, you'll open up the custom outline guide, and we're just going to take what's in here, right? So we'll scroll down until we hit vars, okay? I had a guy that was trying to understand this concept, wrap this concept around his head. He couldn't quite figure it out until I kind of gave him more examples. So maybe I'll just do this right now. So this would be an example of a title that we're going to put into. Actually, let's make the outline first. Okay. So here's the outline, the custom outline that we're going to make. And let me get Chris's comment off the screen. How do I do that? Can't move it. There we go. Okay. I'm going to create a custom outline and we'll call this recipes. Now, we've pasted this in here, but like, what does this actually mean? So var1, and let's get rid of these optimized titles. I don't want those in there. Update outline. So var1 is whatever we designate as var1, and we'll do that in a second. Okay, we haven't assigned what var1 and var2 are right now, but that will depend on each title. So it will replace whatever we designated var1 as with that variable. So history of, and the example here is Southern barbecue chicken. So when it writes this article, when we feed this into the title, it's going to say history of Southern barbecue chicken. Now mind the spaces. If we didn't have a space here, then we wouldn't get a space between the word of and then the Southern barbecue chicken, okay? So it kind of goes in exactly how you want it. Best recipes for Southern barbecue chicken. Which is better, var1 Southern barbecue chicken, or var2. So we're going to specify in a second variable 2 as barbecue pork. Okay. Why is var1? Why var1 is better than var2? Why var2 is better than var1? Okay. So this is our outline. You just put your variable in these curly brackets where you want it. Now, I don't recommend also using optimized title with programmatic SEO. It will work, but what optimized title does, optimized title existed before programmatic SEO in the world of ZimmWriter. And so optimized title would try to kind of do what programmatic SEO is doing. It would give you like let's say we put it on here. Let's say we put optimized title on here. So our outline would be history. But when we do optimized title, ZimmWriter would look at the title of the article, recipe for Southern barbecue chicken, and it would try to modify this to be like history of Southern barbecue chicken, or history of chicken, or something like that, or history of cooking chicken, or something. But the results sometimes were hit or miss. Sometimes they'd be good. Sometimes they could be better. All right. But with programmatic SEO, you want to hit those keywords. You want those exact match keywords. Okay. That's why we're avoiding using optimized title, because if we use it with var1 with this, then what happens is it might remove the Southern barbecue chicken that gets inserted, because it applies after this var1 gets replaced with the actual variable. Okay, so I don't necessarily recommend using that. You can use the other variables with that. You can use image, you can use trigger product layout, call to action. You can use all this stuff, as far as I know, with this YouTube, auto H3, all that stuff. All of it should work with these variables. Okay, so we have our outline. Our outline's done and it's loaded. Now we need our title. So let's get our title. Our title is right here. Now, this is very important to wrap your head around, okay? You put the entire title in first. The whole title goes in. It has to be the title that you want it to write. No variables, no nothing. Just put the title in. Then we define the variables. And it always comes at the end. So curly brackets, var1 equals Southern barbecue chicken. End curly brackets. Maybe you only have one variable, okay? Obviously, if you're using the custom outline, make sure if you're using, a var2, you have a var2 specified in here. Otherwise, you'll probably get an error. So we have two variables. We're specifying both of them in here. All right. So that's going to give us one article. And as it writes it, it will go into here. Let's load our custom outline. Did I not save that? Oh, I never clicked the save button. All right, let's go back and click the save button. I'm like, where did it go? Recipes, save new outline. There we go. Now it's loaded. Okay. Now let's do this again. Programmatic SEO, remember, is we have lots of articles to write. They're all going to follow a similar structure and format. Okay. So recipe for grilled ribs. So var1 equals grilled ribs. We'll say var2 equals baked ribs. All right. So you can just kind of go down the list and have all your different, programmatic things in here. You probably should make this inside of Excel or something like that and just kind of merge the columns together so you can easily just paste this in here. But now we'll get two articles out and we'll follow that format. So let's just make this go quick and see if we can. I'd love to use all this stuff, but I'm going to avoid, actually the key takeaways won't take any extra time. And we'll just run this right now and let that run. And you should see. Oh, but when I pasted this in, just realized I think I pasted back in the optimized titles down here. So we might actually see it change. That might be a good demonstration to see how it ends up looking a little bit different. Let's see if there's any last minute questions while we let this run. And this will be the end. All right. Any other questions or thoughts? Have you all used GPT-4o I'm liking the output from it, and it's fairly inexpensive. I think I ran just a bunch of standard articles. Didn't in the bulk writer. I used automatic with the max of 10 subheadings, and each article with just basic settings, no custom prompt, was about 10 cents each, and I was getting great results from it. Anything else going on, guys, while we wait for the first result here? Hope you're all excited about the weekend. Gonna go to Detroit tomorrow for a ZimmWriter meetup. Got 10 people that are going. It was gonna be 12, but then one person got sick, I think, and the other person like tore their bicep or something. That's not a good thing to do. All right, so here's our first result. Okay, and let's open up this right here so you can see the custom outline again. So here's our custom outline. Here's what we got. So remember, we put in the title, recipe for Southern barbecue chicken, and then we specified our variables at the end. All right. History of Southern barbecue chicken. Best recipe for Southern barbecue chicken. Best recipe for Southern barbecue chicken. Which is better, Southern barbecue chicken or barbecue pork? And now check this out, okay? You see why this is different. Why blank or why var1 is better than var2? It's different now, right? Because we had that optimized title. So it kind of screwed this thing up. Healthier choice, Southern barbecue chicken. So it kind of answered the question, which is better? And the AI chose for us. Southern barbecue chicken is the healthier choice. And then why var2 is better than var1? Porky's smoky tenderness reigns supreme. Pork's. I thought it was Porky's. I thought that was the name of a restaurant. Pork's. So it's saying like, okay, pork's better, chicken's better. But I don't really like when the AI, when Google's bot reads this, is this going to help the article contextually? Probably not. So that's why I don't recommend using optimized title when you're going for programmatic SEO. Now let's open the next one up. Grilled ribs. Put this over here. So history of grilled ribs, best recipe for grilled ribs. Which is better, grilled or baked? Grilled ribs have a smokier flavor. All right, so, and this is an H3 because there's a dash in here, okay? So we have a nice H3 right here. But again, it modified this. Why is var1 better than var2? It modified it because we used optimized title. Baked ribs are juicier. All right, not bad. All right, but I like the programmatic way better. So if I did this again, I would do it without the optimized title. Okay, all questions answered. It's been an hour. Well, thanks for the support of ZimmWriter. Thanks for attending. Please subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. And until next time, good luck with your content generation. And I'll talk to you all later. See ya.